What's good, everybody? Happy Friday to you. Hope you're all doing well out there. It is Feedback Friday. We're going to have Commander Rokusai here on deck with us. Give you feedback directly on whatever you're working on currently, so please drop links in the public feedback channel in the Discord. Get in early. Fridays have been super busy for quite a while now, so we usually end up closing the queue about halfway through, so make sure you are one of the fine folks that get heard today. Get in early. What's up, Saf? How are you, dude? You are on the books for next week. Liquid Phase got in as well. Michael's going to get some time in. There are very limited opportunities. We seize them when we can get them, right? Rakely Sound! How you doing, homie? Welcome in. Happy Friday. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Unloose, welcome in. Same to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Paul, calling in from sunny Maryland. It is sunny and then gray and then sunny and then gray and then super bright and then dark. It's spring in Portland. Man, it was like 75 degrees yesterday. It was basically freezing in the morning, so it was quite a shock. It's that time of year. Zamertz, how are you? Welcome in. Recluse on the Discord. Oh, you got it. Cool. Just getting caught up here. Hey, Nate. Welcome in, brother. Oh yeah, Nate. I sent you an email last night. I meant to shoot you a text, letting you know about that. Surprise. Hope you're well, homie. It's good to get your message the other day. Ooh, some Merits just started up something new last night. Looking forward to this. Maybe we'll get a sneak peek of it today. Saf's got something new brewing, but hasn't worked on it in a couple of days. Paul says he's all produced out over there. 2 videos premiering on the tubes after this show. Very nice. On Loose, I am doing well. Sunny in Tampa, Florida, huh? Yeah, Saf, I feel like it's been at least a month, huh? Hey, there's Roku. I'll give you a call in just one sec here. Gotta love those glitch bubble things, right? All right, Nate. When you gotta pick between 2, that's a tough one. Maybe you'll get super lucky and we won't have a crazy busy Feedback Friday. I'm not sure that's actually happened in like the last 6 months. All right, we're going to call up Roku here.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you, homie?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I am doing well. It's good to see your face. I am going to break this out here. Get your face up over here. I'm going to turn off my camera.
No, I have to stop this beautiful drone you got going there.
Thank you for making time for us, homie.
No problem.
How are your travels?
Pretty good.
Good.
I was a bit sick though.
Oh no. All better
So I
now?
got realization anyway, so that's good.
Have you avoided the virus?
Oh yeah. Well, I might have picked it up 2 years ago when it just started on, but not sure.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, since they've had tests, I haven't had any that have been positive, but something took me down really, really hard wintertime a couple years ago, right before all the news started.
Yeah.
Where's my Discord? There's my Discord. All right. So, I'm sure some people are eager to hear your thoughts on the stuff they share today. Please feel free to spam us with all of your links, all of the stuff. I think everything is allowed.
Spamming all the links. I don't have many.
Well, whatever you do have or whatever you'd like to share, you are more than welcome to do so.
All right, hold on. Let me post them in the chat.
Cool. Let's just get these down here. All right. Is my face frozen on the Discord? Or I mean on the
stream? Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah, I think your webcam is dying because of dual cam.
Oh, let's just fix that really quick.
Mm.
There we go. Easy, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today.
There we go.
All right. Happy Friday, Zev. Hope you're doing well, Will. Welcome back to the left coast, even if it's just for a week. Javar, welcome in. He's saying, been working on episode 2 of my radio play all week. A lot more sound design this time. Just got done recording a propane torch for rocket engines. Oh, dude.
What?
Dude, your show is going to be so great. Oh, so fun. Oh, I bet it's good to feel the California sun, dude. All good, Easy. We'll ease you into this, hopefully. All right, let's see what's going on in the public feedback queue today. I know that we had a couple get dropped in. What is today?
I think that was the first one. I checked it out.
The trailer?
No, Larry Day, I think. Or at least...
That was the newest.
Was that last week?
Yeah, I think these got dropped in last week, and we did not get to them. So, if Laura Day and Purple come through, you guys just poke and scream and shout, and we'll come up here and we'll get these guys. And maybe we'll just give them a little feedback toward the end of the queue if they are not here for live. Jafar, what is it with people and their freaking leaf blowers? Nate's got us on vinyl over there. Okay. Let's dive right in. The first one is from Trailer. It says, can you guys give me some pointers on how I might develop this? It's my submission from a few months back. It was a bit of a rush job, but I love the core idea here. There's a solid track in here somewhere. Hey, by the way, Roku, you're in real time. Mm-hmm. There's no lag. Or very little.
Yeah, I'm in good fiber, so.
Oh, man, that's so refreshing. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, let's listen to this thing from Trailer.
Tweet.
Yeah, Zev, I should turn this off. Thank you for reminding me. This is just a reactor ensemble. This is what I've been using for music on the stream lately. I've just been loading some stuff up into Reactor, hitting go, washing it out with a little Valhalla, and driving.
Nice self-modulating oscillation there.
Yeah. Making the air wiggle on autopilot, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where'd my Discord go? Where'd my notepad go? Trailer is first up here. Let's get this off of your face. All right. Something like this. Let's see what Trailer's up to here. Hmm. Man, there's so many really nice things about this. Um,
Definitely.
and you're really wondering mostly about how to develop it. I believe there is a solid track in here somewhere. I don't think that it's like hiding or in the distance. I think you're here. I think it's just a matter of creating the proper space for each of the sounds in the mix right now and getting the treatment and the processing on them just right so they're all kind of in alignment. Because right now there are some frequencies overlapping. The synths are a little dominant at times. A couple of the sounds are like perfectly dry, and a couple of them could use just a little something because they're a little bit too dry. And I think it's just a little bit of time and love. And, a sample or two could go a long way. I'm not sure if you're envisioning like some vocals or I was kind of hearing like maybe some spoken word or something in a couple spots. Might be kind of an interesting thing. Um, I really like the vibe. I wouldn't touch the foundation that you've built too much, honestly. And
I
I
love
think
those
that
textures.
yeah, I feel like whatever embellishments you throw at it have got to be um, done with a soft touch. What do you think, Roku?
I think that, and I think the main issue with this is because he's asking to develop it. I would take more time to develop the sounds because they do pop up too quickly sometimes, especially like the second section where the piano goes quite loud. I would wait until you do that, like maybe even like 2 minutes longer,
Mm,
and really develop into that. And I think that will actually makes more space for your mix as well because you're not
mm-hmm,
putting a dominant piano in there all the time.
mm-hmm,
I can see it on the waveform too, right? On the end of it.
mm-hmm.
So I would develop all those little glitches because there's some glitches in the first section that I really love, but they're so far away.
Yeah.
So if that gets more time as well, like maybe double the amount of bars, then
Uh-huh.
I think you already have like a full arrangement then.
I would agree with that. Another thing is when you were first coming out of that intro, the little synth stabs that were rather sudden and whatnot, I think you have a little bit of an opportunity there to ease into that, kind of play with attack times and stuff. And also in the first intro bit, that first like lean in moment, I was originally typing out like, hey, the keys can actually come up a little bit here, and then when everything started to come in later, I was like, okay, I see where all of this is going. um, but one way that you could perhaps preserve some of that really nice glitchy texture stuff in the very beginning is to kind of open it up and expand it into a more of an atmospheric element that can kind of bolster this whole thing. All in all, I think you're pretty close actually. I don't think you're that far away. I think Roku's right. Some time and tender loving with your sounds is probably like 90% of the lifting here. It's good stuff.
Very nice. It's been a while since we heard something from Trailer, I think.
I'm not sure if he had something in the queue last week. Well, we had
No, we didn't, right?
the listening party last week, so we also didn't do as much in way of feedback. Unloose is up next. What's the
We
chat even saying right now? Just straight up ignoring you guys. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Javar, I'm still unsure what that is all about. Like that 10-second lag was brutal when you were on. It must be the beard. It's the power of the beard. I
yeah,
love it.
definitely.
The beard buffer. I love it. Hey, Loomish is here. Welcome in. It's been a minute. Um, yeah, people are liking it. Nano, yes, we are. We are feedbacking. All right, let's do this. It's something heavy, by the way. Awesome.
Always good.
Yeah. Unloose always brings it. All right, here we go.
You say you don't how high you need love, I'm by your side. Cross my heart, hope to die. Just tell me what's on your mind. You say you don't how high you need love, I'm by your side. Cross my heart, hope to die. Just tell me what's on your mind. You say you don't cross my heart, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die. You say you don't cross my heart, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die. You say you don't cross my heart, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die. You say you don't cross my heart, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die, hope to die.
All right, so there's definitely a few things that I think mix-wise can be better. I do want to go back to the very beginning of this, though, really quick and listen to something.
You say you don't how high you need love, I'm by your side. Cross my heart, hope to die. Just tell me.
Okay. All right, so this transition, maybe a little bit more upward compression, like actually actively pushing it upwards as it's happening to make that feel just a little bit more upward, I guess, or uplifting or opening or something. I also think that your reverb, in general, I think could have a little less low frequency presence in it, and it would help a lot of that stuff kind of lift up. I think it would also clear up a lot of the frequency buildup that we're hearing down low and in the mids. Some more separation between the vocals and the mix when everything starts hitting. And the mids are just bloated in general here. So I think that there's a couple of things. I think you could make a little bit more use of the sides, especially if there's less low end in the sides from the main bass. And if your subs come down, then the things out on the sides will help to kind of lighten the load in the middle, right, as they move out a little bit. And I think there's some resonance in the upper mids. Some of it is just some of the buildup of the noise, the saturation, and some of it is just a general buildup of stuff. I'm not sure if it's one thing or if the culprit is a few things adding up. It's probably the latter. Again, just making sure that you're EQing your reverbs really well. And keep in mind that it's not just the low frequencies that you want to contain with your reverb, it's also your mid and your high frequencies. It really comes down to if something is going to be dominant or affecting the mix in a negative way, right? Where you're choosing to make those attenuations. And then
Quick
again, just
quick
watch
tip on
frequency
that.
in the sides. Yeah, what's up?
Quick tip on the reverbs. Band split them
Yeah.
and then process them. Because a lot of people just slap on a reverb and they automate it, but there's a very neat control if you band split your reverbs with two EQs and then process the bottom end and the top end of it differently, and even sidechain it maybe to like that bass, because that bass is so massive,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually dominating that reverb. So if you want to give it a bit more space and depth, you can keep the high frequencies of your reverb in there without being masked by the bass.
100%. Yeah, a little bit more mid and side control, I think, in this.
Watch those highs as well on the basses, because they're very bright.
Yeah, this is a really nice track, though. I would definitely keep chasing this one. Feels good. It feels good. Loomish, all good over here, homie.
I love the surprise. I didn't expect that drop.
Yeah. Hey, Trailer, welcome in. Snack, welcome in. I think the aesthetic is nice, Roku.
Yeah.
I like your filter. And Loomish is saying the vocals seem a little bit rushed. You know what? I actually wasn't paying attention to the timing of the vocals. I was so much more focused on what I was hearing frequency-wise. Good looking out. Our chat is always on point. All right, up next is Recluse. See what we're up to today. It says never made a house track before, so first crack at it. Got everything structured out. Still need tweaking, mixing, etc. It's called Flutter.
Flutter on the wings of a butterfly. I can take you high, I can take you high. Flutter on the wings of a butterfly. I can take you high, I can take you high. Flutter on the wings of a butterfly. I can take you high, I can take you high. Flutter on the wings of a butterfly. 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 I can take you high, I can take you high. Flutter on the wings of a butterfly. I can take you high, I can take you high. Flutter on the wings of a butterfly. Butterfly, 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 butterfly.
Mm. Mm.
Wow. For your first crack at a house track. Holy damn.
Yeah. This is great. It's going to feel really good when it's all mixed down. I think that structure wise, I think you've pretty much nailed it. I think you've done a really good job. Um, in my opinion, I think that this could use a couple of transition effects put in here and there, a couple of small reversals to kind of accent certain little um, rhythmic moments. In general, just kind of going back through this piece by piece, I really like the palette. It feels very balanced, like the timbres that you're playing with here. The pluck feels nice. There are a few things that seem a little out of sorts, like volume mix wise or position wise, but it's something that's all going to get sussed out as you're mixing this all down. I have no doubt about it. Piano sounds a little round down low, kind of a little bit like it's been rounded off just a little bit. So maybe just a little time with the EQ down there. And I think I would try A-Bing a few different ducking schemes, taking a look at the volume ducking, the sidechain compression, and just kind of comparing how you feel about having all of the elements ducking at the same rate and level, or if some of those can be backed off depth wise, just to kind of retain more of that sustained energy.
Timing wise too on the compressors. Like if you do duck everything, then make sure that you duck certain things at different timings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just to find ways to create the separation at all times. If everything's going all at the same time, it's a little bit too mechanical and not very satisfying. I think the drums in general can probably use some multiband compression to really kind of fill them out and make them fit the vibe of the track ideally. And I think that specifically those fills, those tom fills specifically, can use some mid range accenting. And then around 3 minutes, when you go to that halftime, I think it's a brilliant choice. And I think that you're kind of missing out on an opportunity here for one last big energetic surge that will leave the people wanting more, right? So if you can focus their attention on the fact that you've just gone into this halftime and drop out the floor, so to speak, so everyone is like, whoa, what just happened? And then as everything comes back up, give it a nice little dramatic curve, and whoosh, we're back into it. And then you can peace out. I think that would be a really nice kind of fun energy to end with. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just a mix. Considering the whole arrangement, like this is by far better than what the average house producer actually produces.
I would agree.
So,
Yeah.
props to you with that. Mix wise, what stood out to me is like missing. I am missing some saturation on certain elements like, because it's a kind of lo-fi housey feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I do miss some grit and girth to especially like the second pluck that happened somewhere around half of the track.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a square wave or something, but I think it's just too square,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little movement in the delivery of it, or
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe some LFO modulation with. I wouldn't use a default filter, but I would use something like a band pass, but then with a dry wet on it,
Mm.
so that it gets some depth
Mm-hmm.
moving some phase around,
Mm-hmm.
because that will actually support the vocal as well.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit was that the word butterfly was a bit too smashed in my face,
A little.
because it's a nice vocal, but it repeats a little bit too much.
Got it. These are important things. Let's see what the chat is saying about this one. Recluse, this is really good.
Grit and girth.
Yeah, Jafar, FabFilter is one of those companies that it seems like you get to a certain point with their plugs and you're like, man, these plugs are just so great. And then one day, for some reason, you get a little bit more mental bandwidth, or maybe you have a few more seconds in your day and you start to see it with more clarity. And they have thought of so many nuanced things to help you manage details. It's
Just the UI alone.
oh yeah, right?
They really thought about the UI. Because audio-wise, they're not super special. Like the
No,
EQ specifically, the
no.
Pro Q. It's not very, I don't know, something to write about.
Mm-mm.
But the UI makes it so intuitive and creative.
Yeah. I don't feel like any of their stuff stands out like character or quality wise, but the
Yeah,
functionality and the thought that's been poured into it. There's just a lot of attention to detail that I appreciate.
great little company.
And nice guys too. Each conversation I've had with
I've
them has
never
always
met
been
them,
good.
even though they're from Holland.
You got to get on that.
Yeah.
Don't you guys all know each other over there?
Well, in the DJ scene, yes, but in the plugin, that's a
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
When I was living in Thailand, everyone was always like, hey, do you know Obama? Like, do you know Michael? No, I don't know these guys. I just live in the same country. It's a big,
Yeah.
big place. Easy's up next. Easy, I hope you're a little less hung at this point because we're about to do this. 140
Oh,
BPM F
Recluse
minor.
Recluse says feels weird not to crush super saws everywhere. And he mentioned before he normally produces future bass. You can still put in super saws in this track if you know how to, like maybe lo-fi it, like very small and tiny somewhere in the pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah, I totally missed this comment. Thank you for catching that. Recluse, you know me, I'm going to say that you should try to fit your stuff in there. If you're interested in making something, you don't have to change who you are or what you do just because you want to start playing with that thing. You can still be you and play with that thing. And it's probably going to sound even better because you're going to be in it. You know what I mean? I can definitely feel opportunities for the future bass stuff in a track like that.
Yeah.
You just got to play. If you're having fun, then your audience will have fun. It's like smiling on the phone. People can tell, you know? If you felt that it was an infectious, awesome thing, then other people are going to feel that infectious, awesome vibe.
Or they drone out when they listen to my stuff.
Yeah. Chakra, welcome in. Do you bring us any treats today? Oh, Nate says he's been using C6 for multiband and absolutely loves it even more than FabFilter.
Wave C6, yeah.
Still feeling the hangover, but he's ready. All right. All right, here we go. Man, autocorrect. Always telling us how to spell things. Here we go. It's called You Can't Do It Better.
What would you like to say about Easy?
All right, got a couple things here for you. First, the subs can come down. They're kind of dominating all sorts of stuff. Definitely watch a meter as you're working if you don't have a way to monitor your subs audibly. And it could be really easy to lose track of subs.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. They're the quickest thing to get away from you, especially if you're working at home, right? 033, a little saturation on that synth could go a long way, I think. And then, of course, you have to watch for, harshness up top. Also, a little modulation might be kind of cool in a couple of spots if there was like some, like a little bit of tremolo or something like that to add just a little bit of interest. Something that could come and go in the mix. That funky little acid line there at 55 seconds was unexpected and nice. At 108, I think there's an opportunity for a transition effect here, also coming out of that breakdown. At 120, halfway through that breakdown, I feel like it's kind of begging for some kind of change up, and you have an opportunity to kind of make your listeners go, "Whoa, okay." Um, you know, Halftime, although a little overplayed. Run the whole thing through something like a shaper box where you can actually start manipulating time and looping just a little bit and kind of alter things. The other thing that I would say in regards to changing things up is that you've got some nice stutters and little glitch maneuvers, but they keep repeating the same way. So keep them where they are, but maybe change up some of those patterns. So people are like, oh, yeah, okay, that one was different. And then just as an overall thing, I think that there's a few things to take a look at. I already mentioned sublevels, volume mix. I think that some things in the mix are louder than they need to be at certain points, and other things are a little quiet, and things don't seem to be moving out of the way of one another as the track progresses. So, in other words, I feel like the volume levels are pretty static throughout the entire thing. And if there was a little bit more dynamic change with those things, then each thing is getting its own time in the spotlight, just the way that you want it. And you can kind of help focus the listener's attention on different things. Make sure that you're EQing your reverb. So, anything that is being parallel processed. Make sure that there's an EQ on that channel at the end to wrangle in the low and the high frequencies. And if something is being reverberated in serial, like on the track that the sound is playing in your mix, then use the internal EQ or filter that they give you to kind of chop off the top and the bottom of most of that stuff. The other thing is if you have sub frequencies present in anything except for your sub in this mix, just eliminate them and see if you can hear everything in the mix just a little bit better. I think that's it for me. What you got, Roku?
Yeah, and roll off that low end on that 808 because that thing will definitely rip some cones.
Yeah.
If you play that in a club, that will actually just like make the limiter go click in clipping mode, and it will turn itself off because it cannot handle that amount of information in the sub frequencies. So roll that off. You don't need any information. I think his track is in G.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you roll any
F minor.
information off, was it F minor? I'm not sure. Below, let's say 50 hertz, then you'll definitely get a much more tighter response out of your subs, and the rest of your mix will also be much easier to perceive and much easier to mix if you because it's also pressing into the limiter, so all that high end information is getting squashed by that sub. So if you scoop that off, you'll instantly know you got more space in your track already.
Yeah, it's really important to remember that your plugins are not aware. Your plugins
No.
have no comprehension of what you are trying to accomplish or what you're putting through them. They really respond to one thing generally, and that is signal strength. And so you
Yep.
want to make sure that the focal frequencies, the frequencies of the meat of your sound, if you will, is really what you're focusing on with your plugins. So if you've got some lower frequencies that are peaking, roll those off, and now your plugin is going to be responding to the part of the sound that you're actually wanting to present to people. So just kind of keeping in mind that your tools are really waiting for you to dial in parameters so you can get the results that you want. There's never really a time where you can put something on a sound and it's just like, gotcha, boss, let's go.
And another thing you can do with that 808, because I know that a lot of people like that squashed kind of 808 sound, is if you do some limiting on it, do it on the bus, on the 808. Don't do it on your master. Don't do that. You want that squashed sound out of your buses or even the separate track.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And don't forget, saturation before compression.
And after two.
Man, I put all my reverbs through so much saturation and stuff. It's, man.
Oh yeah.
I think I might be a junkie, but I don't want help. You know what I mean? I just want to stay this way.
Do I need to send you some Boss guitar pedals?
Yeah. Please. I'll have them with breakfast.
Yeah.
Lumish is up next. Dude, what is up with this visual here? This is amazing. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Okay, that's better. Sour Music, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Everybody looking for feedback, drop stuff in the public feedback channel on the Discord. Don't forget, if you are currently subbed to the channel, get a free sound pack every month. You can download that from the subscriber rewards channel right here. This month, you're getting 257 classic dialogue samples from the cult classic movie Reefer Madness. I cleaned them up for you and packaged them all up. Whatever you're inspired to make with those sounds, you come back, you turn them, you submit them in the monthly challenge here, and you get another free sound pack. It's a way for all of us to be part of this community together and have a little bit more fun doing it. Let's do this. This one is Lumish, called Aura.
Sweet.
I be gone, dropping bombs, I be, yeah, I be gone, this is shit that I be, bring it back and shit that I be, coming through the speaker, bring it back and poppin' that perk, this shit is absurd. Bring it back and bring it. This shit is absurd. What you heard? Bring it back and shit is absurd. Coming through the speakers. Dropping bombs, I be, yeah, and I be gone. And I be gone, I be. This is shit that I be. Bring it back and bring it back and shit that I be. Shit that I be. Shit that I be. Coming through the speakers.
Gotta get him. Gotta get him. Gotta get him. Mind of a man and they gotta get him now.
Popping up, popping up.
Okay. Lumish, again, you've crushed it. It's awesome. Couple things. Couple things. Watch Lufts. I think that your sweet spot for this one is probably going to be like neg 12. I think if you go past that, it's going to be too much. And it feels like you're kind of bordering it right now. It also could just be that most of the loudness is coming through the compression, so things are a bit closer together, so everything is kind of pushing up against our ears a little bit more. 20 seconds in, little spicy up top in that intro, little resonant up there. I'd
Yeah, it's in the
consider,
snare mostly.
is that what it is? The
Yeah.
culprit? In that intro, when that bass synth first starts coming in, it's very mid-rangey, and I would consider moving that out of the middle when the big bass comes in and keep that space clear. You've got a lot of sound design articulation happening in rapid fire form later in the mix, and whatever you can do to kind of protect that space and tighten things up so you can hear all of these wicked maneuvers, it's just going to make it all better for everyone. So watch the lows in the sides. Okay, make sure that you're not putting anything too heavy out there because you need that space to be fairly nimble. I would roll off some of the subs in that bass synth that feels like more energy is being expended in the lowest like 5% of the frequency range. And you could redistribute a lot of that up into the space where your sound design is really popping off. Man, 209, you could just feel it. You could just feel the corner being turned. There was
Yeah.
this moment, and then it just
The
takes off.
juxtaposition of it, like the suggestion of the juxtaposition was great.
Yes, yes. And Lumish, I will say that the things that you've brought through before, I think that your ability to juxtapose is really quite nice. I think you have a natural ear for it. I want to hear this without all the maximization, just to hear closer to original source sounds. I'm a big fan of going from very little to fully expanded and hearing what the effect is while you're zooming in. Something tells me that this one was probably pretty satisfying. Roku, what do you think about this thing, man?
I think Lumi should send me a message
Yeah,
on the Discord, and I'll help you out.
dude.
Because this is the kind of stuff my buddy Salve also makes, and we've been collaborating a little bit. And so I think I can. I think I can help you out a little bit with your mix, with your low end specifically.
Boom, right there. Right there.
Send me a message, Loomish.
And boom, love was made. Just like that. Nate says, I have a thought for those without a strong internal metronome. Were there any thoughts about certain juxtapositions where I lost track of the beat? Not that it matters, but it was just a thought.
I think that's the point of it with this type of genre. Is like I love that. That's why I used to make this kind of music as well. It's like making people confused on the dance floor, so they would trip over,
Yes.
literally.
Yes.
And then they're like, "Oh wait!" And then you drop them back into a rhythm again.
Yes. If
And
their
then it's people like, "Oh my god!" And it blows their brains.
if their face hits the floor on the beat, then you've done your job well.
Yeah.
Frequency, welcome in. Yeah, this is just a beastly track. This is so good.
Yes, Frequency, SA Salve from South Africa. Yeah.
All right, next up, Bilbo Man. What has he brought this week?
Bilbo.
Lumish, happy Friday, but you do have to buy Nate a new face. Oh, nice. Samsung, welcome in, dude. It's been a minute. How are you? Here's the one for Bilbo, man. It is, what is the meaning of life?
Lee told me to buy this shit. Money talk. Fuck with me and get some money. Banking off that crypto, you should get some from me. Pulling strings like on that guitar that I get from Sonny. My new bitch bad as hell, look like she dipped in honey. Wait, go back. Play so that. We need you to rewind how you ate those racks, dog. I went from broke as hell to a payload, stack pesos, cheddar moolah in the queso. See this new chain, it's a day old, had to boss up, triple charge you what it cost us. New merch shop pop up, marked everything on the block up. Made life launch an IPO, got my stock up. Whole team eat like a potluck, and a damn thing gon' top us or stop us, it's true. Only fuck with those that fuck with me. I tried to warn them not to come for me. Watch for all the snakes you keep in company. Boy, you know I'm Kobe when it come to beef. Different animals, same beast. Y'all weak, I should change leagues. Y'all suck, I got a brain freeze. When it's feature time, gotta pay fees. PayPal, gotta pay me. Deliver funds on the daily, cause y'all owe got late fees. Gotta pay now, vacate please, you gone. Yeah, the money top. Yeah, the money top. I only hear when that money talk. I only hear when that money talk. Yeah, the money talk. Yeah, the money talk. I only hear when that money talk. I only hear when that money talk. When and got the LLC is poppin'. Made life ENT, I'm on the BOD, we locked in. Thumbing through the pennies and the Hemis. Fuck the Grammys, bitch, we mobbing. Like my presence DOA that chase a canter coffin, yeah. I go hard, I never change up. They pay us, then you get pay cuts. Fuck with me and get some pay stubs. I'm ballin', it's just a layup. They been trying to shoot me down. Why you aiming at the ground? Bitch, I'm way up, bitch, I'm way up. I know too many people, ain't no hustle in them. Couldn't put them on the game, so I stopped fucking with them. Why you think I put the reference? Ain't no fucking limits. I stack up these G's so easy, might go public with it. Wait, go back. Play so that. We need you to rewind how you made those tracks, dog. Kill everything that I'm on. Snap on them like Nikons. They won't love you until I'm gone, you know. Yeah, the money top. Yeah, the money top. I only hear when that money talk. I only hear when that money talk. Yeah, the money talk. Yeah, the money talk. I only hear when that money talk. I only hear when that money talk.
Okay, there's so many things about this track, dude. The flow in it is so good. I'm uncertain about.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so fun. It's happy.
You know, there's one thing I should mention straight away. It's like the fact that the vocal's actually too quiet makes it fun.
Yeah.
It should come up a little bit, but not too much, because I like that off-kilter, like, sort of gap in the middle.
Yeah, I do too. There's no mention of more separation for vocals this time, which is kind of rare for me, for work in progress. I'm not sure about the clipping and DS. I feel like this might just be a byproduct of the saturation that you've got on it. If so, then I think that there's just a little bit of time needing to be spent up high. Because there's just a little bit of harshness up at the very top of it. But, you know, since it is a bit back in the mix, you don't want to, don't kill it up there. Because you still want to hear everything. You really are making me smile with the flow here. There are so many moments like 219 and 249, that same energy isn't quite locked in a couple other groove spots earlier. And I think part of it has to do with the mix. So low end control, I think, will help you kind of feel and hear everything a little bit differently, because I think that the mix is affecting the feel in a couple of spots. So like those claps, they could be doubled up, like layered and slightly offset, and then moved out to the side a little bit more, and then that kind of brightens up this one little spot in the mix. You can take a little bit of low frequency out of that bass guitar, and then it's going to feel a little bit more nimble in its delivery, and it's going to create more space in the middle of the track for other things. And then as you work through each sound like that, I think the whole thing starts to open up a little bit more, which is the only thing, in my opinion, that's holding this back from being even better, honestly, is just the ability to hear all of the elements really clearly. What else you got, Roku?
Yeah, I would multi-band that bass with the kick, actually, like multi-band sidechain docking, because you don't want the tone of the bass to be influenced by sidechaining.
Mm-hmm.
So you just want to control the low end a little bit more, and it creates a bit more space for the groove. And also the fact that the vocal is a bit too bright makes it that you're focusing on the mid range and the low end of the bass mostly. So
Word.
yeah, it's just two things that's the two things that stood out to me. Other than that, I was bobbing.
Yes.
I would DJ it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, next up. You are welcome, Samsung. You are welcome. It was a bop. All right, up next is, oh man, Jwapican Schwapican?
What are these names?
I don't know. I
They're
think
so
they're
cool.
challenges. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I had it right. Okay. All right, here we go. This one is My First Song. Mix is a bit messy. Don't even worry about that if this is your first track. Let's check this out. It's called Not Real, the Come Up. Is this are these? Yeah, let's roll this.
Smoke at the store, stroke on the smoke. They tell me to quit, don't listen what I'm told. Help me forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know what I'm chasing no more. Tell me what I want, just keep searching on. It's never enough, cup after cup, run after blunt. I wouldn't give one if I could find a far. In the car, and I put that on my mama. Got my bitch car, talking about some drama. I swear there ain't no type of women on the corner. See the pussy or the karma. Gas get a motherfucking nosebleed. She ain't never met a young and do it like me. She got a man, but she said she really like me. She doing things to excite me. She sending all her friends snaps on my new tracks. Cause all these hoes know what's about to come next. I hit my plug up, got the baby connect. I drop a couple bands, I just wanna go. In the car, then I put that on my mama. Got my bitch car, talking about some drama. I swear there ain't no type of women on the corner. See the pussy or the karma.
All right. So a couple things here. I think that the level of ducking, the sidechain compression that's happening, is getting in the way of delivering some of the elements. So timing and depth of ducking, like the amount of volume reduction that's happening and the timing of it, needs to be looked at here, I think. And not everything needs to be ducked the same amount in the same way at the exact same time, like we were talking about a couple of tracks earlier. That should help. There's also, it sounds like maybe compression on the entirety of the track, and peaks are compressing things, and you can audibly hear some compression changes. So I think taking a step back with the compression in general, and getting a better handle on exactly what's happening from signal flow to output. Like when the signal comes in, it's triggering at a very specific decibel level threshold, which is important. The amount of time that it takes to fully compress after being triggered, which is the attack, is also quite important. And then the release, if the release is up too high, or if that dominant signal is too sustained, then that compression continues to be applied. So it just sounds like there's some stuff kind of pushing down on this mix. So I would definitely take a look at that. I think in general, the bass can come up. The drums can use some multiband compression to help them really pop. And especially when the bass synth stuff shows up later in the mix. At 225, you can really hear this, but in general, the transitions in here, I think that they could use some help, some more support. Simple little whooshes, risers, swishes, reversals, that type of thing. Those are good in those moments. Not just because they sound cool, but they help to kind of bridge a gap. And there's also some kind of a volume change happening during those transitions. So just going back and listening very critically to those moments and seeing what you can do about making them a bit smoother. And then again, just the loudness stuff in the mix, the compression. I think that would be something you'd really benefit from really dialing in. Roku, what do you got?
No, pretty much it.
Yeah.
I would say keep on going. If this is your first track, you got a good sense of arrangement.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, all of that is technical feedback, and none of that can be expected in your first mix. It can't even be expected all in your first year, really, realistically. But we do have people come through here and do it, and it's amazing to me. So thank you for sharing. Keep bringing stuff in, and we will help you make it all feel even better. Hey, sis, welcome in. Happy Friday to you.
You don't want to hear my first track, Nano.
Ben says my first track was garbage compared to this. Hit the Discord, hey. Toss it into public feedback. And let's just see how many we've got left here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got another one coming. That's 9. We'll roll for a couple more minutes before we close this queue down. All right, next up is Nanowires. Says this one is in the early stages. Very early stages. Sorry, my bad. Boarding planes, V3. And sometimes Finder is just straight up weird. It wanted to put that into an audio files folder in one of my Logic projects. What the hell?
Mac.
Mac attack. All right, Benny. It sounds like the Mao has returned.
Yep.
We were getting something so completely different from Ben for the past couple of weeks. We are back. Kalo, congrats. Working full-time in music now. That is awesome news. Love hearing that. Ben, here's what I got for you. Besides the Mao has returned, the sub's a little much. More movement in the synths. Basecamp, welcome in. We're probably going to shut down the queue here in a little bit. So if you're here for some feedback, drop it in the public feedback channel on the Discord. Everybody who is in the queue will be heard. Okay, so 135, feeling pretty stale in regards to actual movement. So definitely some, at the very least, some filter movement. I think detuning in this track would go a really long way. And not just detuning, but actual manipulation of all of the voicing mechanicals, right? The spread, Ben, we go way back, you know this. Voices. Alter them a little bit, right? Give some of them an odd number, give some of them an even number, help to try to focus the intention of each one of those little elements, and then play with detuning over time, long form saturation swells, add some transition effects. Yeah, that's where I am with this one. Roku, what do you think?
That, but also consider counterpoint melody, even though it's maybe a limited track, like a minimal track. I would still sneak in some little arpeggio somewhere that pops up here and there, because it does carry the attention of the listener from and to the plucks, because the plucks are your main thing. So,
word. All that said, quality sounds, dude. Chase it. How many tracks are you cranking out a month right now? Out of curiosity, Ben. And are you still working the little collab? Oh, Basecamp. Here. There's the Discord link. The other one is for submitting sounds to the community sound drive, which is, we've got a drive that's dedicated to sounds that community members upload, which you are more than welcome to contribute to as well. But I figured you're probably looking for the place to drop the feedback link. So there you go. Drop it in the public feedback on the Discord there. All right, up next is Nate. Hey, Nate was able to stick around long enough to actually get feedback.
Finally.
And he dropped this thing 1 hour ago. So here we go. Nate says, getting the 2/3 of the song in for feedback, making a nice crescendo editing, but keeping it currently within a lo-fi light chiptune style track. Sweet. And you said you're working on a couple of these, right? All right, this one is called Carb Synth. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Some pure love happening there. You guys, we had other Pure Fam here the other day. Mario and Josh were here. And threatening to be here even more, which would be very nice. 3 of them. Okay, Nate. Nate, first off, it's good to hear you working on something new. Can't wait to hear the whole series. I hope that you have the chance to bring them all by. Subs are a little hot. The saturation that you've got running on that bass is running all the way down through the subs. I don't think you need it. I don't think it's helping. I think that it kind of affects the clarity. The mids are all a little bit thick right now. In that there's just some stuff that's a little close to each other, so maybe spreading those things out in the middle just a little bit more would help. I like the timbre, the synths that you made for this one. It's got a feel. It's got a Nate feel. It's got a Nate feel. I like the what was the sweep? I've lost track of it now. It was like a little phaser sweep or something in the background, if I remember correctly. Did that just kind of appear around 116, or did I just finally tune into it?
Was that a synth, or was it actually phasing because of phase issues?
I think it was an effect. That
Was it? I'm not sure.
I
didn't mind. Like, it was actually pleasing. But
yeah, I'm gonna roll with it was intentional. Nate is a super honest dude, so he will tell us. It was a synth. Ben. Yeah.
Oh, and I think most of his percussion was mono.
I would not doubt that. Yeah, it had a phaser on it. Okay. And it was straight from Expand. Okay. So a couple things here. I like the palette that you're rolling with. Some of the stuff sounds a little stock-ish right now, like a little untouched. I know it's an early work in progress. The structure of it's pretty good. The character of the whole thing is pretty good. Your vibe is pretty good. I don't think you're hearing it fully at this point until your mix is wrangled in just a little bit. So get the lows sorted, the subs sorted. You got anything else for him on this one, Roku?
Yeah, that piano sound, I would consider maybe replacing it.
Just straight up different sound.
I think that's one of the things that's a bit stockish.
Yeah. There were a couple of things that just kind of lacked the life force that we've come to expect from you. That said, you pour over your stuff more than most people I know, so I have no doubt that you're gonna A/B the hell out of that stuff and arrive at something great. I like the nice dreamy vibes overall, and if there's a way to enhance that at any point, I think you should. So if there are little sparkly effects that you send out into a little delay and reverb wash in a couple of spots, just to kind of add a kind of magical, dreamy kind of vibe to it all, I think it'd be a good choice. Pizza just got here. Kayla, we're coming. We are coming. Ben says, yeah, OhmLab, it's the man. Him and Steve Duda have a death match later this month for Man of the 21st Century. Hey, free mango time. Welcome in.
Possibly more sweeps on the piano. I would replace the piano sound. I don't know if you own Kontakt, but there's plenty of free pianos that are actually really good for this kind of track.
And yeah, you do have. Yeah, I think Unicorda is probably just like an overkill thing. Everything else in here is a fairly simple sound. I think I would err on the side of that. And if you want to twist something out of it, then do that. But I would, you know me, dude, less is more. Go with the stuff that is surefire, Disco.
Don't be like me and spend 8 months on a track.
Well, no, I have known Nate to spend a long time on a track. I'm not sure that I've ever known him to spend 1.5 years on a track, though.
8 years, as long as I spend on a track.
Dude, You replaced all the cells in your body in that time. I bet you changed
I
your mind a
did.
lot.
I did.
Yeah.
I I returned to it like many times and tweaked little bits because I couldn't figure out how to finish it. And then one moment, somewhere 8 years later, I was like, Eureka! And just finished it.
Artists, man. Man, we are
Yeah.
a fickle breed, aren't we?
Yeah.
Kalo's up next. Nate, it was good to hear something in the queue from you. Keep it up, homie. 1930, After Prom. Let's see what this is all about.
Wow.
Yeah. What'd you think of this one?
Um, I'm not agreeing with what you're typing. I actually love the way it is.
You do? Okay. I thought that there was
Yeah.
just a little bit of thickness in it that didn't feel like the 1930s kind of vibe. Is so much low end. I love the warmth of everything, but I thought that it was a little heavy down low. That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind with this kind of genre, actually.
Yeah. This felt really, really nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Are you on the label, Kalo?
Yeah, nice nostalgic vibe. I like the pace as well. Subvids. I really enjoyed this one.
Because this could go straight to Lo-Fi Girl, if you know that label.
Yeah, absolutely it could. 100%.
Yeah. They'll take this.
Yeah.
You do science songs. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you got your own label for meditation tracks. What's the label, Kayla? If you don't mind sharing.
Send it.
Some slow EV. Yeah, really good stuff, Kalo. I really like the vibe. Nice, nice. Yeah,
Suave,
yeah,
yeah.
keep bringing back more. You should consider hanging out and playing with the monthly challenge from time to time here. I have a feeling you probably cook up some good stuff. Yeah, people will be interested in checking out more of your stuff and your label as well. You can drop links in the Discord or in the chat here. Easy, since you've already had one, we're going to circle back to you. Okay, just to make sure that everybody has a chance to get one in. All right, everybody, hold on tight. Take a deep breath. here we go. This is the newest one from Chakra, Shadow Discipline. I'm digging this artwork right here. I like all the scratches. Yeah. Sounds good, Kayla. Yeah, audiophiles helping audiophiles. We're all getting better here. Jabba FX, number 1, great handle. Number 2, welcome in. Number 3, super clean mix. Yeah, absolutely. Centrus, yeah, man. And Jafar, yeah, great use of negative space. Ben knows what you're up to. He knows what you're up to. He sees your face light up. You got that certain twinkle in your eye when you start to look at frequencies, you know.
Oh yeah. that respace is, that's my jam.
It gets you every single time.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts?
I would focus on the percussion because the kick and snare pattern is very repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want that hypnotizing effect, you need to switch it up sometimes. Because there's a fine line between monotony and hypnotizing.
Change it up a little bit.
That's it. Other than that, I love this minimalism. This is great.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat here. I would throw out like some small embellishment on that ghostly pluck, the drums, a couple fills or a little break switch out or something. I really like your mix, your use of space and time. I like your decision making. Your stopping points with your saturation was really super on point this time. There's this moment in there. You guys will know what I'm talking about. It almost like the delivery of the bass in that moment felt like you were like plugging in and unplugging the bass from an amp, like a tunk 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 tunk. Oh, I felt that.
I bet you used Guitar Rig for that.
Man, I felt that. That was good stuff. Was that Guitar Rig? Kayla says, I always get hyped as soon as I hear any D&B. Yeah, man. My buddy and I were just texting back and forth last night. My kid is like, for weeks now, he's been walking around. I don't know if you guys remember this, me bringing this up, but like over a year and a half ago, probably, he was walking around saying, I'm so metal, in like a death metal voice and stuff. And it was so cute because he didn't really have it right? Because that doesn't sound like a death metal. It sounds more like like Fred Flintstone trying to be metal or something. But over the past 3 weeks or so, he has like a serious death metal voice that he has perfected. And it is
Oh,
so
wow.
good. And so I'm texting with my buddy Zeus. I'm like, man, you're absolutely going to love his new metal voice. And we went down memory lane and had this little geek out over the feelings that you get from that certain kind of pump up from a really good metal track at just the right time. And we were both agreeing, that this is, it's the same kind of thing that you get from the D&B thing and from all of it. It's just that vibe.
The nasty bass
Oh,
face.
it's just that vibe. Oh, yeah. Oh. Paintball, welcome in. Happy Friday. Some reverses. Chakra, thank you for pleasing the ear holes yet again. Snack, you are up next.
That name.
I know. Every time. Every time. We haven't seen Coffee Table in a while. I'm not sure where they are right now, but their full username is actually Coffee Table Sex. And it always makes me crack up because of the conversation that we had around it. The very first time, every single time I see it, I'm like, oh man, there it is again. I freaking love it. All right. Snack says, need help with my vocals, reverb, mixing. Never really tried singing or mixing them. Okay. This is good. Jack of Spades, living this way.
Nice hit.
I dig it. I dig it. The tone on that guitar is really great. Your vocals really fit the vibe.
Yeah. Good grunge voice.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying you need help with vocals, reverb, and mixing. I'm going to play back right in the middle of this again, and we're going to pay specific attention to the reverb here.
It's all gonna be okay.
So there's this kind of doubling effect that happens when the reverb comes up, right? It kind of like almost multiplies the vocal. And if you were to put a nice, gentle curve and shave off a bit of the low mid frequencies there, start at something really extreme, like 500, and work your way down. Or start really low and start moving up slowly until you feel like you've just lost something, and then move back just a little bit. There are ways that you can kind of judge what is and isn't too much for reverb on the vocals. You have an easy mix to play with here. You don't have a lot of stuff in the way or to work around. So I actually really like where you ended up with your vocals. I think that you could tighten the reverb of it a little bit, but I think that the vocals are sitting on top of the mix, and I think that the general vibe of it all feels in alignment. What are you thinking, Roku?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind big reverbs on something like this where there is a lot of space, like physical space, because the kit as well is like, I don't know where it's recorded, but it sounds like a decent room. So you have the soundscape to do it,
Yeah,
to either go like fully wet or even like very tiny, intimate dry. But even dry vocals are usually quite wet with reverb, but you just don't notice it.
that's true. That is very true. Big Soundgarden vibes. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Sour Music is asking, OhmLab, what genres do you usually produce? I usually produce full spectrum. I do dwell on the cinematic side of things a lot, just because of my work. But I produce pretty much everything. I've played in
Same.
I played in bands for years and years and years, and in that time I went through all of my phases with metal and all the entire spectrum of rock, except for the bubblegum top 40 stuff never ever really appealed to me. But a lot of funk, jazz.
No pop rock, really?
Not really, no. There was one band in particular. It was very much on the metal side, but it had some poppy kind of things that happened every once in a while, and it always just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I never really actually went all the way into it. I was very much an improv guy. That's why. I just don't like the whole repetitious thing. And when you get into pop, people want to hear it the same way that they've always heard it, and it kind of breaks me a little bit, I think. So I've always stayed on the other side of it. But getting back to your question, Sour, I do produce pretty much everything.
Same for me. Except local Dutch music, because that's horrible.
Yeah, I should say I do not produce much local rural Oregon music either. Have I produced any electronic in-house? Yes, I have. Yes. Yeah, the OhmLab project has been live for the past dozen years plus. And in that time, it's helped launch ADSR and a couple of other popular marketplaces, and produced instruments and sounds and presets and libraries for native instruments and sample phonics and noise and Black Octopus and Ghost Hack and Big Fish and Loop Masters and all sorts of places. Been grinding hard on Audio Design Desk for the last year. But yeah, I've been
OhmLab cost me money before I met him.
I cost you money before you met me.
Yeah. I mentioned that last time we called. Like, I used samples of you like from 15 years ago or something.
Oh man, I appreciate
bought
that.
those packs.
I appreciate that. You probably bought me a cup of coffee and an IPA.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. All right, Snack, that's really all I got for you on this one, because I like what you came up with. I know that you're not experienced or feeling experienced with mixing that stuff. But really, man, it feels right. It feels good. Sour, you're up. Ben, he ghost produces me, but we signed an NDA and I can't. Oh, never mind. All right, let's see here. Sour. Do this. It's called I Don't Mind. This is a good vibe. Nice full mix. It seems like it might be a little bit hot on the lefts,
Yeah, it was definitely hot.
and a little bit heavy on the low end in the sides, which I know adds to the feeling of fullness, but I guarantee you it's still going to sound very full at lower lefts and a little less low end in the sides. The reason why I would probably stand my ground on this one this time is because it's got summer written all over. Like, this is sunshine and feel good music. And all I want from music like that, especially when the sun is out, is to be able to turn it up and for it to sound even better, right? To get more of it. And when you're already capping out on the lufts, then that just doesn't happen when you turn it up, right? It just kind of, it's just the same when you turn it up. Or it's a bit too much pressure. So I would say that, and a little heavy on the lows and the sides. At 148, it feels a little competitive. Part of it is because of the compression, so I might not feel the same way about that at all if you were to back off. So I would take this all the way down to like neg 16 lufts and see what this feels like. And if it doesn't feel too aggressively competitive at 148, then you're probably sitting on a pretty solid mix. If it does still sound a little too competitive at 148, then a little bit more dynamic separation and some volume changes. Some adaptive or responsive EQ in your mids might be a good choice for this one. I don't know what you use to mix and master, but maybe some like Fab Filter or Isotope stuff or something that can give you the responsive changes. What do you think, Roku?
I agree with everything there, but I have something else for Sour. Is I know of your music. I've listened to it a couple of times before, maybe on the label that Norampure is on. I'm not sure. You're an established artist. You know how to mix. You know how to master your stuff. It just needs some little tweaking. But I would suggest for the next track you're going to write, or maybe this one if you're going to finish it, is create a soundstage that matters to you. Because that's something I'm missing here, like a soundstage that is like a sonic landscape that moves you. Because it is very nicely mixed, but there's no real you in there. And it's just a soundscape. It's not about the sounds. The sounds are really pleasing. The elements that you chose and the juxtaposition of the rhythms are working really well. I'm missing some you.
I feel that.
Because I know your music, and I know you can do better.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it definitely seems to check all of the boxes for a genre.
Yeah.
But I feel you. You got to have some you in there. Or else it doesn't make it through the season, right? People be like, hey, what's that one track we heard? Like, we used to bop to it in the car that one summer. I don't remember the name of it. And they move on, God Apple Pine, welcome in. You bet, Sour. Always. Keep bringing them back. We will be here. Frequency, you are up. Nice handle, by the way. This one's called Paint equals Data. follow my commands right now. All right, we'll give everyone just a second here. Come back down a little bit.
Holy hell, that was a train ride.
It's a fucking invasion.
Yeah.
Frequency, thank you. All right, luffs are hot, and we're a little over compressed. When you get into that minimal space, we lose all of that. So it kind of feels like you set up everything for those moments. Like those feel really, really good. I mean, they're still loud, but they're really, really, really good. So it kind of feels like those parameter settings are kind of static in your project. And if you made them more dynamic, then I think we're talking about like some greatness in this one. Just a lot of really, really, really good choices throughout this thing. 134, when you drop into that sweep out of the low end, keep in mind, if you've got resonance on there, dial back that resonance until it gets to a certain point, maybe like 150 or so, and then you can maybe start, maybe like 250 even, and then start bringing it up or something if you really want a little resonant sweep in there. But avoid it in those subs, because as you're dragging that across, remember that you're dragging those sub frequencies with you in your mix at an accented peak. 144, small reversal reveal moment opportunity. When the vocal hits right there, I think it would feel really good to have this kind of like long, kind of windy wind up riser, and then the vocals are just kind of there, and there isn't really a hit or anything, and it just kind of keeps flowing. So if you had just the one little like whoosh, like, or maybe even a suck back right into the first syllable of the vocals there, I think it would feel really fluid.
Yeah, dry. Like as dry as
Yeah,
possible. Like
yeah.
not something wet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Something to really give definition to that one moment, because there is something that's happening right there. And if you can kind of help crystallize that for the listener, it will focus all of their attention in that moment. There are a few spots where I feel like the EQ on the reverb channels could be a bit tighter. But as I was saying in the last one, it is hard to judge some of these things when things are overcompressed. So I'd love to have a chance to hear all of this again when it's not in that state. What are you thinking, Roku?
And also tuck in your high end on the lasers or whatever they are, because they kind of distract you from the bass when it hits. It's a little bit too bright, so when that bass hits, it's like, no, I actually want that bass fully. Like I want to go from up to down. I don't want to stay up as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Just tuck it in a little bit, around I would say 13K, 14K. So be careful with that area there.
Truth. Also, another thing to watch there is the decibel per octave curve that you have on that top cut. Play around. I've knocked out 150 drones in the past couple of days, and I have been very, very focused on the rate at which I am attenuating my high frequencies to maintain the perfect balance and focus in that low end. So,
welcome to my world with drones.
Me too. I feel like we must split the difference in our days or something. Like we're in not quite opposite time zones, but I feel like when we're actually producing when no one's looking, we're doing very, very similar things. It'd be kind of be interesting to see exactly like what hours you're working on that, what hours I'm working on that, and then compare them.
Oh,
Are
that's a
we
cool
are
idea.
we always up at like for like a certain chunk of the day?
Well, I am a multiphasic sleeper.
Mm.
So I sleep 2 or 3 times a day, but just short
Oh, this
blocks.
explains
So
so much.
yeah, because a lot of people say like your Rokusai never sleeps. I actually do sleep more than you, but
I guarantee it.
not like in time span. Yeah,
Man,
but in time span, I sleep very short blocks.
I
So
like it. I've known a
yeah,
few brilliant people that do that actually.
I can't cope with myself if I don't, because I get sucked in by daily life as well, like outside world and other people.
Mm-hmm.
So if I stay at the and also the fact that my community and the clients that I work with are all over the planet, so I
Yeah,
kind of
same.
have to have a cycle where I can actually call everybody when it's needed.
Yeah,
So it really helps me.
yeah. I'll tell you what. Focusing for the last year on a startup again has tamed the hours in which I operate again, which has actually been kind of nice. Still not enough
I
sleep,
want to
but
answer the question from Alec
yeah, I want to
from
go back to
Mango.
that as well.
How to find you
Mm-hmm.
in your music. I struggle with this myself as well when I was in the dance industry for over 15 years. Um, the idea where I actually found myself again was go back to childhood. What were
Yeah.
you doing in music in your childhood or maybe your teens? Like what was inspiring you to listen to music and create music? Go dig there, explore that, like go back to your maybe your old music as well and see what inspired you to create certain things.
Mm-hmm.
That is more true to you than right now, because right now you're probably a bit more professional and you overthink actually way too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually physically went back in time for myself and go back to my old records and see like why did I create that?
Mm.
And most of the times things were not logically inspired. They
Of
were
course not.
purely emotional and intuitive inspired because you had no clue what you were doing with your gear
And you
anyway.
were in the moment.
Um, yeah, definitely in the moment. So it's the kindred spirit that you need to refine because everybody has it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be making
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk about this a lot. So here's my thoughts on it. And here's a few things that you can see put on display quite easily. There are artists and bands that develop a signature sound based upon their instrument selection. A classic example of this would be AC/DC. Okay, they use what, like maybe 6 chords across a dozen albums.
Yeah.
You hear one note and you know it's them, right? So there's this sound. Now that's a you're definitely painting yourself into a corner there, because as soon as you start to deviate from that, people are always like, "Oh, they sold out," or "Oh, they're not the same anymore." "Oh, what happened to these guys? They're just not the same." Whatever, right? And then you've got guys like Zappa. Right now, here's this guy who is, multi instrumentalist 73 times over or whatever by the time he dies. And if you listen very carefully, especially once he gets to the crescendo of his career where he's conducting full orchestras and stuff, he's running through the same things again and again and again and again and again across all of these different instruments. So he's like, hey, this is what I do. This is the sound of Zappa. And this is the sound of Zappa on a harmonica. And this is the sound of Zappa on a harp. And here's the sound of Zappa on a kazoo. And so on and so forth. So you've got those guys as well. What I think, personally, in today's era of music making and finding yourself, like in the era of being the one person show, the do it all producer, is workflows. And what do you do when you engage with inspiration? Like, what are the things that you lean into the most? And if you continue to allow yourself to organically grow in the directions that you lean naturally, you're going to start to develop certain characteristic traits in your sound design and your mixing. And the reason why I feel like this is kind of the next evolutionary step in all of this is because you can carry that across genres, and you can carry that across eras, and you can carry that through different collaborations. And it's only going to continue to evolve. And you're only going to stay more engaged with those moments when you are inspired. So to me, it comes back to like what Roku is saying. Don't let childhood trauma and don't let the distance between childhood and adulthood hold back what you're doing right now. If you can re-engage with the wonder of inspiration, not worrying about how someone else is doing something or how someone else used something or what that synth is supposed to do or the type of music that producers make with that kind of synth or plugin. Don't worry about any of that. Only ever worry about what you're inspired to do with something when you come in contact with it. And that's it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, I was just having a tape recorder and some guitar pedals and using feedback noise and delay pedals and whatnot to create things, whatever it was. And I just recorded them to tape. That's what it was I was doing. And I'm still doing that, but now on the computer. It never changed.
True.
That's my music making. Like, I'm not the same as most people produce. I destroy sound on purpose, and that's what I do. And then as a result, it creates music.
Lovely
That's
music.
it. My music is a byproduct of my sound design endeavors.
Same.
So if I make a dance track, that's because I had a sound that fitted a dance track, but not because I was aiming for a dance track.
Yeah. It fit your mood in the moment. Excuse me. It inspired your mood in the moment. It carried your mood in the moment.
Yeah.
Going back to those comments earlier that I was saying, like people can tell when you're smiling on the phone. People can tell when you were really freaking into something when you were making it. You know, you can feel that. You can feel that. If it's not there, then you can check boxes and then hit bounce. But if it is there,
it
then
goes to my
people are
sample
like,
library.
yeah. But when it is there, man, people are just like, oh, now this is something. All right. On to the next. This one is Jesus. June and Chisel and Jesus, Mercy.
June tiene jugo, tiene jugo, tiene jugo.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been feeling off lately. My thoughts been consuming me. Yo no quiero estar aquí. I don't know what's wrong with me. Ain't nobody holding me. The pain been controlling me. Yo no quiero estar aquí. This life ain't been showing me no mercy. This love ain't been showing me no mercy. This man ain't been showing me no mercy. I bring my next love or not. This life ain't been showing me no mercy. This love ain't been showing me no mercy. This man ain't been showing me no mercy. I bring my next love or not. I don't know what's wrong with me. My brain been confusing me. I feel like I'm losing me. No, I can't me llame a mí. I don't know what's wrong with me. My soul feeling real empty. Yo no quiero estar aquí. No, I can't me llame a mí. This life ain't been showing me no mercy. This love ain't been showing me no mercy. This man ain't been showing me no mercy. I bring my next love or not. This life ain't been showing me no mercy. This love ain't been showing me no mercy. This man ain't been showing me no mercy. I bring my next love or not.
There is so much about this track that I don't want to influence at all.
Yeah.
I will say that those 3 or 4 rapid fire effects, I'm gonna just navigate to them. Oh, it's like right here.
This man ain't been showing me. I've been
Right
my
there.
next love.
Those like, there's just too much sub in those, and it becomes kind of distracting. I don't really want to change too much about this. There is some kind of raw magic in what people turn out when they're like emotionally connected to it, and this is obviously one of those things. I can feel it. What are you thinking?
This is soul.
Yeah.
Straight from the heart.
Yeah.
You don't want to touch this at all.
Yeah.
I can hear the mix as well. Like the mix is so pristine. I don't know who was your producer or mixer, but that guy knows what he's doing. So
Yeah, it feels right.
if this is a collaboration with somebody, keep on going, because this is a magic duo or trio or whatever it is.
Yeah, do not step off of this. Just those 3 little effects in the middle of the mix are the only thing that caught my ear, really. Yeah, this is good. Everybody likes it too.
June Chisel is the producer, and he makes everything.
Okay, well,
He's good. He's really good.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not just that. There's obviously some kismet, some great like synergy between y'all too. Yeah, very good fit. Centris, Tristan, you are up. Hey sis, thank you so much for treating our ears. Centra says, not very mixed, mostly just gain stage and a limiter, part of a collab. Friend did vocals, I did everything else. It's called Chocolate Mushrooms. Diamond Eyes. It's Friday. Why not chocolate mushrooms?
Help is on the way. Please don't let us waste no time, no. I'll fly you out today. 'Cause I know I'm money, tours in Japan, you like how I'm moving. Pick up your phone, I'll show you some improvement. I ain't never been a normal mode you talk to. Come through when you need time to pass by. We fly up, pick you up, but don't stay shy. Say hi to fam when I take you back home, we grown. Yeah. Show me all the things you want to. Lie about your feelings, won't do. You know I leave my color, I want to. I would never lie to you. Help is on the way. Please don't let us waste no time, no. I'll fly you out today. 'Cause I know I'm money, Time again, I let you see what's in me. Spend the holidays with family. Take you out to major cities. Splurge on you when we up in Rome. On your own, sometimes I be gone. Travel the world, you know I stay home. Stay locked in if I'm not home. Do what I do. Bring all this back to you right now. Show me your humanity. This is what it takes to be with me. Yeah.
like this vibe. I like this vibe. It's got a
It's kind of synthwave, but not really.
yeah. It's got like a kind of a carefree kind of thing. It's got a it's got a nice palette. It's got that kind of fresh kind of sunshine kind of vibe going on.
Mm-mm.
Um, this pad, this running throughout the entirety. Um, if we could maybe just take it out of the middle completely, it feels like it's kind of spread across the entire stereo spectrum. And maybe if we could just isolate it on the sides, we wouldn't have the mid-range buildup that seems to be happening in the center of the mix. It feels like there's just a little bit too much mid presence throughout the entire thing. I also feel like there's maybe a bit too much compression on stuff that's reverb heavy. We're kind of magnifying some resonant points in the mix by doing this. Mid highs on the main vocals and the chorus is a bit resonant specifically. And it has to do with the falsetto and the reverb and the synths and everything kind of culminating and that compression in there. I think it's just a little bit too much. So sweeping elements in the mix for resonant peaks and then gently taking some of that down would probably help. A little less compression on reverb would probably help. I love how the vocals commingle and meld. There's really a nice quality, really satisfying thing that happens. 201, this moment right here, I'm not sure about the sound effect that you added there. It felt like kind of the only element in the whole mix that stood out to me as not really belonging in the palette. And if it was something that kind of dissipated up into the air, almost regardless of what the sound is, I feel like it would probably feel better. But that's just me. Roku, what you thinking?
I agree to all points, and like to add the envelope on the bass synth is, I think the tail of it is a bit clouding the mix actually. So you might want to tuck that in a little bit because it's some points it's clicking and some points it's actually too long. I don't know if you have it automated at all, but that's a good thing to actually make your envelopes on your bass not always the same. Like automate
Yeah.
that throughout the track so
Yeah.
you can emphasize moments and tuck it in when it needs to be.
Yes. That is a really brilliant humanization, actually. That
Yeah.
brings to mind one more thing that you can look at, and that is the ducking of the reverb channel for the vocals. If you were to add just a small amount of sidechain compression on the reverb channel, so your reverb is this parallel send. After that, you've got this compressor, and you're going to set the vocal as the sidechain trigger. So you're actively reducing the volume of the reverb when your vocal performance is being delivered and peaking. So that way they're not actually in direct competition in those moments. I definitely wouldn't do it to the point where it's audible, like where you can actually hear changes happening, but anything to give just a tiny bit more clarity to a few of those syllables, I think would feel really good, because then that would cream out in the delay and the reverb with a little less competition in there.
Oh, and the dry vocal that happens occasionally, it stands out a little bit too much. So I think the level should come down because it's kind of clouding the harmonies. Like that nice lush kind of vocal pad sound. But then when the dry one comes in, it kind of falls apart because that thing is too dry or either too loud. I think too loud.
Quick question: what would you recommend for the mids? Would I scoop through mid-side EQ?
I think that actually fixes the mids, the vocal.
Yeah, and as far as that pad and getting that out of the middle, you could just double up that track and send it off to the sides and just keep it out of the center. You could also just mid-side EQ it, right, and basically just take it out of the mids, or everything under like 500 or something. It might sound a little weird if you do that. I might try to just
Yeah.
isolate it because you've already got so many mid-high frequencies happening with the vocals and the reverb. I think I'd try and push it out to the sides and see how it feels. A little
I
less
never use
traffic.
mid-side.
Yeah.
I never do that. I always use either panning
Hmm.
and duplicating the sound and make a variation on the right, because mid-side makes it very sterile, I feel.
I used to use more mid-side, and I started getting a little too heady with it. Mixes started to seem like almost disorienting at times with the amount of separation.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was kind of obsessing over like control, basically. So I backed off years ago, and I've felt better ever since. All right, base camp, you are up. Here we go. What about me?
Saw your face in my dreams again. Same smile that you had last July. We were laughing and alive again. It's when you told me that you loved me, but you lied. Don't wanna throw away this thing that we have. Should've tried, we were not that bad. I fall into you laying on my bed. Close my eyes just to hear you say, hold me close but not too tight, babe. And love me so I can love myself, 'cause I have no one else. Bitch, what about me? 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 I heard your name in a song today. Turned it off 'cause it was whispering the lies. Saying to stay, give me one more try. So tell me, how can I never wanna let this go. So take me in and whisper nice and low. Hold me close but not too tight, babe. And love me so I can love myself, 'cause I have no one else. Bitch, what about me? 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 Bitch, what about me?
Okay, I don't know if this is your voice or if you're doing the production on this or what, but it's a lovely voice. It's a really nice capture too, and it's a solid mix. Subs are heavy on the whoosh, subs are heavy on the bass. It feels like there's some electronic music production kind of thinking or mentality creeping in here, and I think you just need to push it away, because this is not that. And if we lose that emphasis on the low end, I feel like all of the focus returns to the vocals, which is exactly where it should be, which is also why I feel like the guitar is just a little bit excited in the mix. It feels like it's more than just volume, like it might be. I love all of the clarity in the fretboard and everything, but it does feel like it's been embellished just a little bit, which draws my attention more to it at times than the vocals, and I would like that to change, just because the vocals are so lovely.
I think they're just too loud.
The
The side guitars, not the one in the middle, but the ones on the side. I think they're just too loud.
Yeah, overcompressed maybe.
I don't mind it with this kind of track, but I would
Just a
tuck
little
them
too
in
loud.
just a few dB. Yeah.
Everyone's loving this. Zameritz, you may need a drink. You're suffering from sub-dehydration. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus this other one from Frequency. That's 7 tracks that we do not have time to get to in the live stream today. So, if everyone can take a little time over the coming days and listen through these things for these fine folks and share some words, that'd be great. We also had a couple way up at the top here that came in between this stream and the last one, right above Cardio Party.
Oh yeah.
Laraday and Purple. We might have to revisit this again next week. We'll see what my production schedule is like. I'm not going to be here on Monday with you guys. I've got a family birthday to attend to. So Basecamp, you bet. I'm hoping that they vibe with you and that they help you make it even better. You've already got something great. I know, and Drummy, I'm not going to be here, but I will be all the other days. There's going to be some live streaming in the metaverse via the Nowhere network. That's going to be happening.
Oh, the VR thing.
Next week. Yeah, that's going to be happening.
Nice.
You're going to be able to see me there. You'll be able to see Indremia there. Some audio design desk presence. I need to reach out to them again today and see what's cooking over there. Ben says, this stream is more important than birthdays. Like, come on, birthdays happen every year. Come on.
I actually agreed to that, and I don't celebrate my birthdays.
Well, there's one more day that we don't have to take off from the stream then.
Exactly.
How many years have you not celebrated your birthday?
At least 8.
So you have not aged in 8 years?
No.
You just have not recognized.
I phase in and out of existence anyway. So yeah, what is time?
I don't think that's a phase alignment issue. I think it's just free choice.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a hermit. Like, I don't mind social things. I love partying, but I'd rather sit behind my computer and make noise.
Same. I think that's why I was always making noise at parties.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd show up and people would be like, yeah, come on, let's do this. And I'm like, I got to go make some tunes. Someone grab me a drink.
This man mid-sided his birthday.
Oh, man. Don't you just love the quirky sense of humor of producers?
Oh, yeah.
And that we're allowed to just continue on this way. Man. It's good to be in a safe place with all of these people.
It definitely is.
The
most strangest time to live in, but also the most excited one.
Yeah, right. We're going to boogie in a moment, but I just want to say, Roku, it's been really great having you here. I want to do this more. This felt good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it again soon too.
Yeah, I think so. Birthday, OhmLab at computer, holidays, computer, world ending, check the computer. Who's got requests to see who's up today? We're gonna go visit somebody, and I don't see a ton of options here on my end.
Neither on mine.
The Mao is streaming. He's streaming some Elden Ring right now.
Oh, yeah.
Josh, Eldre, Slippery Haze, Stolace. He's just doing Stream Raiders. I know Ben wants us to go raid Joel. All right, we'll go say hi to Joel really quick. And I won't be here on Monday. But I'll be back right after that. I might even surprise you with surprise streams for the next week or two. I'll see you guys on the flip. Stay inspired. Don't forget to cook up something good for next week. And I will see you all on the flip. Peace out. Roku, thank you.
No problem, man.
You are awesome.
You too.
It was
such
good.
such unity here.
Yeah, man. We have a good little community cooking.
The mouse actually just started.
We just made Nano happy.
Yeah.
There's just no way down there.
I can only imagine the kind of
looking?
meltdowns he has over this game.
So Nano is one of your mods, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he was a student of mine at Pure Mind.
That's how you get to this
6 years ago or something like that.
Right?
Ah.